So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Bernie DeLord and Jennie Tarvit from PROMAS. Where are you guys? Where are you? Come on up. They'll tell you all about kind of PROMAS, but Bernie's a mental health nurse by background and Jennie actually an educational background. Come on up, guys.
I'm Bernie DeLord, this is Jennie Tarvit, and together we're the co-founders and we currently are the directors of PROMAS Caring for People. It's great to see so many people that we know and to meet some blasts from the past, from my old mental health nursing day. Oh, and Sophie, that's good, who's been running some of the projects with us. So, we are a community interest company. That means we're not for profit. We were funded originally by the lottery and now by Cornwall Council as part of the Carers Service. There are a grand total of 3 of us, Jennie, myself, and our part-time admin person, but we have 8 fabulous bank tutors that work with us that run a variety of courses. What else can I tell you? We started in 2013, and when we started, I had jet black hair and looked much younger, so that's how I know how long we've been running it.
So we are going to do an activity in a minute, but first there's 2 things I'd like to celebrate. The first one is I've been working with Bernie and known her for a very, very long time, and in all those years she has refused to go first in any presentation. Today is the first time, so give her a round of applause. The second thing is, I'm really pleased because last night I had a very bad dream that I'd stand up here and nothing came out my mouth. So obviously that's not true. So we're going to go on to a card activity. Oh, I forgot I have to do it, right. So on your tables, on this side mostly, you'll see a sort of green card on your table. It's got our logo on it. And it's got activity, and most people on this side have a white piece of card. Yeah. So those with the white card, as you can see from up there, as a group, as your table, I want you to come up with the answer together. So your question is it vital to support dementia carers? So our whole organisation is about carers, and the reason we're doing this you will see throughout our presentation. So white card, which is mostly this side, answer that question. Green card, which is mostly this side as a table. Is the support carers get sufficient to help them manage their caring role? I'm not going to give you very long, they do not have to be big answers, so as a table, greens and whites, I'll leave you to do it. Okay, I'm only going to give you, that really doesn't take very long, this exercise. So, are all the green cards finished? Looks like it. So, white cards. Hold up your cards. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see from this distance, but I'm presuming most of them say yes. Is there any difference? All of them say yes? Green cards is a little bit different. Is the support carers get sufficient to help them manage their caring role? No?
That's not a straightforward answer. Yes, there is support out there, but it's knowing where to look and when to look for it.
Okay. Anyone else got a yes on that question with the green cards? No? Okay. So mixed answers there. And we knew it would be. We absolutely knew that everybody would say that dementia carers need support and that there would be mixed answers on the green side. Why did we get you to do this exercise? So our presentation, as we go through it, will explain to you, you all know that dementia carers need support, and we're going to explain to you in more detail why, about things you might not have considered when you work with dementia carers, because they are vital in that caring role. When you think about treating people with dementia, their carers are vital and quite often not considered in that whole journey as much as they should be. You've got to click that.
See, normally I'm never allowed to touch technology, so I'm actually fearful of what's going to happen. Woohoo!
It works.
So, at PROMAS, Caring for People, we support unpaid carers who care for a family member or friend. We do that in a variety of ways. So we have a lot of different courses. We have a lot of stuff on the telephone. We try really hard to listen to carers. So I was really heartened by David Sheard's presentation today. So I remember in 87, I think it was, when I qualified. Joy's here. Was it 87? Yeah. Okay. That makes me older then, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. So I remember qualifying and at the time being really mind blown by person-centered approach. And everybody said to me, no, it's not the way to go. Everything that we do is comes from a person-centered approach. Some of the stuff he talked about today, about having an awareness, owning your own feelings, being able to help other people with theirs. So we were taught as mental health nurses, if you can't look at your own stuff, you're not going to be able to help anyone else. I still think that's true. So one of the things that we do is our aim is to teach carers strategies to keep well. Some of them are practical, a lot of them are emotional. It's getting to understand what people are saying. It's also being able to see behind who most carers will tell you that if they're asked, how are you, they'll sound fine. Behind the fineness is actually a whole lot of unfineness and really, really difficult situations that people are in. We're very lucky that we have two very lovely carers who are going to talk to you later, and we're going to show you a bit of a clip of a film as well.
This, to me, is really quite outstanding. If you look at this research from Carers UK and the University of Sheffield, what unpaid carers save this country by providing care is the same amount of money it would cost to fund the second NHS. So if all unpaid carers down-tooled, is that a word? What would happen to this country? We would be overwhelmed. We would not be able to cope. So we need to give carers more support and understand that, as Bernie says, when they say, I'm fine, we need to learn and understand how to dig deeper and find out what's really going on.
So why do we support unpaid carers? So that's a really good quote. I'm a full-time carer and I feel tired all the time. Some mornings I get up and burst into tears. This is existing, it's not living. That would be a sentence that I've heard thousands of times in the work that we've done over the years. Flick. So what we want to share with you, and I'm sure some of you are aware of this research, but Carers UK started this research, The State of Caring, in 2013. Why is she doing that?
Can you hear her?
Thank you very much. She always has to try and throw me off track. That's when I'm in it. Cornwall have been really underrepresented with the state of caring, so I encourage every carer every year to please complete the research, because we need the Southwest to be on that track as well. The staggering thing about the research is that every year, in my naivety, I thought that State of Caring report would show that things were getting better. They're not. Because every day someone else gets sick, someone else becomes a carer, and the cycle continues. So what we want to share with you is some stats. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm just going to comment on some of them.
So we support all carers, regardless, but we actually do some courses and support, particularly for dementia carers. So we wanted to put this up because when you look at dementia carers, their health and well-being are continuing to worsen. This is the carers I'm talking about. So being able to care for someone is making people unwell themselves. And if you look at this statistics, 68%, or 63, sorry, of the financial burden cost of caring for someone with dementia lands on the carer's shoulders from their own pockets.
I just noticed how clever she is. She's actually doing that one and that one.
Multitasking.
know.
Can't trust her with IT. Those of you who know us will know that.
Can I say I've got better now? I can use a spreadsheet.
No, she thinks she can. Right.
So, back to the presentation. The staggering thing about this is it's all the over 50%, which means it's over half of people are overwhelmed. These are things that we see and hear all the time. 66% of people said they need more support with their own health and well-being. So what we see all the time is carers becoming unwell, carers who have pre-existing conditions getting worse. And in the last year, I've had 5 people I'm working with who are on the phone while they're being taken in an ambulance trying to get care for the person they're caring for. So that's how bad it is, and I accept that we're all doing the best we can, but it's really important to hear those stories, because that was the thing that shocked me the most. Somebody I worked with a couple of weeks ago who was saying they told him he was having a heart attack, but he was on his mobile phone trying to get somebody that could care for his wife. That is not an unfamiliar story.
So we are going to show, we're really lucky. We have a brilliant tutor who does photography and film work. And she offered to do a film promoting the work we do. Not so much promoting, but getting carers to talk about how we've supported them through our organisation. So we're going to watch this film. Well, we're going to try not to, because there's nothing worse than seeing yourself on film, I tell you. Oops. Wrong one.
There was nobody who would support me in that role. There was nobody who could give me advice or where I could turn to when I didn't know what to do. Everything was about my husband and how to treat his illnesses, and it was all very practical approach for him.
I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and that's how I found PROMAS. I phoned my GP and said, somebody needs to teach me what I'm supposed to be doing because I haven't got a clue.
I found them and enrolled on the course Caring for Carers. And for the first time, somebody actually told me, you need to look after yourself. You can take time for yourself.
Initially, I came on a course, a Caring for Carers course, to help you to understand what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, what you're doing right or possibly not as well as you could be. Also about how to not take things so personally, and the boundaries and what level you should be doing, you should be helping at. It was very empowering to hear other people's opinions as well, other people in the group and what they were all going through. And also to have somebody who's so experienced to be able to say to you, actually, what you've done, this is all right.
I think PROMAS have helped me in loads of ways, to be honest. It really, really helped me to know that there were other people out there that understood, because as much as you can talk to your friends about what's happening for you as a carer, people don't really get it unless they've actually been a carer themselves. And so being able to talk to Jenny and Bernie and attend courses and meet other people in the same situation really helped me to understand that a lot of the things I was experiencing was quite normal for a carer. And so I think it's been fantastic for mental health, to build resilience, to understand yourself a bit more, and to really be a better carer for the person that you're caring for.
It was so personal that I could address specific problems, or we could look at specific situations, how to deal with it better. And I had quite a good journey through those sessions.
On the social side of things, going out once a month and meeting up with lots of other people that you sometimes repeat and see at other events is just so lovely. It's the sort of highlight of the month.
One of the workshops I've really enjoyed has been the photography group that meets once a month in Penzance. It's been so brilliant to be outdoors and to be opening our eyes to taking better photographs and enjoying the company of other carers.
We have our courses, which are face-to-face. We have our telephone and mentoring, which is all done on the phone. And then we have our kind of creative sessions and activities, like our outings, Nordic walking, art, creative writing,
Leech pottery.
Yeah. So any carer in Cornwall can apply to come and join for free.
And everything that we do is done flexibly. So if people can only come for like half a day, we've got half-day courses. If people want to do it at home in their own time, they can do the online courses. We just say to people, give us a ring, tell us what you want to tell us, and then we'll direct you to whatever's most appropriate.
Having the PROMAS organisation to support me has helped my own personal wellbeing immensely, because I really didn't feel like I was going to cope before, and it's turned a massive corner, and you sort of see light at the end of the tunnel, and you know that if you need something, you've got someone you can phone up and ask, and if they can't do it, they'll definitely know somebody else who can.
We definitely need organisations like PROMAS, because there is so little support, practical support, for people that really need help in their role as a carer. And as I said, people at PROMAS really understand what it's like to be a carer, and so you're talking the same language, and they just really help you in so many different ways.
What I've just realised looking at that, I am wearing the same top. That's just so bad.
So bad.
It's so bad. Right, so what do we do? So we've talked a little bit about why we need to do it and how we help people. So in that film, it did describe that we offer a variety. Everything we offer carers is free. So it's a whole variety of courses from face-to-face, on the telephone, online. We also do mentoring, and we also do social activities. So our courses do range from the more kind of structured academic managing stress, coping strategies, caring for carers, to things like creative writing, yoga, golf, leech pottery. So we have a massive range of courses, all free to carers, and we also pay a contribution towards travel to help carers out, because obviously carers quite often are financially poor or poorer due to being a carer.
I think I'd much rather be up there, It seems to be having a lot more fun. So one of the reasons that we run a lot of activities is to reduce loneliness. There's a real sense of social isolation within carers. A lot of them have had to give up work, reduce their hours, give up hobbies, things that they used to do. Some of them have found just getting involved socially now really difficult because they haven't done it for such a long time. So we find that by organising the social activities, it gives people a chance to get back into the swing of things really well. Do you think? Oh, well done. So
it's mine. So this is a dementia conference, so we're going to talk a bit about what we actually offer dementia carers. So these are the courses that we do for dementia carers. So we do 2-day caring for dementia carers. It's quite interesting listening to the last speaker, because we do a 2-day planning for the future, which is what is out there for carers. What might they need to consider? It doesn't mean they have to, but it's looking at options for the future. We do telephone training, which is on a one-to-one, because what we're really aware of is that a lot of carers cannot leave their cared for. So how do they access services? So we offer some of the courses on a one-to-one basis on the phone. Yoga's a tricky one, can't really do that one on the phone. And then we have an online course which carers can we give them a code and they can work through it on their own, which is very similar to the 2-day Caring for Dementia Carers face-to-face course.
So, we had some funding from ARF, thank you very much, Stuart, and the council, and I know that there's a few other people that really helped us get that over the line. I'm not going to mention the fact that it took 6 months to get the money, or how many times we had to beg Memory Matters to rearrange. I won't mention that. I'll just say thank you for giving us the money, and thank you to Memory Matters. Could not have done it without you guys, so big round of applause to you. So what it enabled us to do was basically offer all of these courses to carers, and in the next room, the brilliant staff at Memory Matters were running cognitive stimulation activities. What's brilliant is I can see some of those carers in the room. You're going to hear from 2 of them soon to see what difference it made. So very sadly, that funding has come to an end. So I'm not looking at anyone in particular, but I'm just saying, if there is, because I have a belief that one day we will meet a secret millionaire. I'm still looking. It's been 14 years, but I'm always hopeful. If there isn't a secret millionaire out there, but there's any of you that want to offer funding, honestly, we take everything: cash, checks, American Express, Diners International. I could just come around your house with a box. So I'm just saying that was one of the most amazing projects we've ever run. And it had such an amazing impact on people. So I would really love, we would both really love to be able to run that again. No pressure on health or the council at all, just saying.
Okay, we've done our plug bit. Okay. I can see from Kate down here that we are actually running out of time. So this is a poem.
She's biting her nails.
This is a poem written by a dementia carer. I was going to read it out, but I'm going to let you read it because she keeps flashing the time at me. We haven't even had our carers talk yet. So this, I think, is really emotional, and it really helps you to understand underneath when a carer says to you, "I'm fine," think a little bit more. Think about some questions you can ask them to get them to actually talk about how they really are feeling.
Oh, I was thinking we were finishing there.
No, we haven't got long.
Okay. So key impacts on dementia caregivers, all the things that I think David Sheard mentioned: emotional stress, social isolation, physical health concerns, financial strain, which all lead to burnout. But one of the biggest things that is not talked about is grief and loss. So I have not met and worked with one dementia carer who has not been experiencing grief and loss. It's the one thing that people really, really struggle with. So it's really important for everyone to get involved in that work.
So if you take just grief on that list that Bernie just showed you, and you look at all the impacts of grief that somebody with caring for someone with dementia might experience, it's another massive list of different symptoms they might be experiencing that they might not tell you about. Okay, as we've only got Kate's down here, I've got 1 minute 52, so we might go over by a minute.
You talk.
So I'd like to introduce you to Tim Gibbs and to say thank you very much for coming up. He is a carer, and he has done our course where he was able to bring his wife with him to be able to do that course.
Yes, so hello, I'm Tim, and I'm here with my wife Jane, who's actually upstairs making the noise, having a great time. Just to talk about PROMAS then. So I've done 2 courses with PROMAS. The first one is caring for dementia carers and cared for. And there's a lot of caring going on there, and I had to unpick what it actually meant. And we went along quite apprehensive, I must admit. But the cared for bit, absolutely brilliant. That was the enabler. So it just took all the worry away from me, because I knew I didn't have to make any arrangements. I could take Jane with me. And that's when we first met Memory Matters, which amazing organisation. And Jane just loved it. And because she was happy, because I saw her at lunchtime and everything like that, I could see how content she was and how engaged she was with the activities. It meant I could concentrate on what I was there for, which was to learn a thing or two about being a dementia carer. So that was the 2-day course, and I learnt a lot from that, and I'm very grateful to these 2 guys for all of their knowledge and experience that they imparted to me. The second course I did was Dementia Carers and Cared For Managing Stress. So I didn't think that I had too much stress to manage, but I thought, do you know what? Be prepared and pick up as many tips as you can to avoid getting into a difficult situation or into a stressful situation. And if I just talk a little bit about my journey, I liken the journey perhaps not to a road or a pathway, but more to a river, and perhaps being in a canoe. And perhaps you can think of a two-person canoe, a two-man canoe, two-person canoe, and we're going along this river, and ahead we've got some calm water, which is fine, but we're always moving forwards. But you need to be aware there's rocks out there, and there's rapids as well, and ultimately you could capsize. But what PROMAS have done is help me to be aware of things like that and to be more prepared to avoid those sorts of instructions. And I guess as well, thinking about what David said, doing the PROMAS course was a real nudge to me to do that recalibration. So very, very helpful. It's helped me to build a network for my support organisation, and there's many of you out there that I have networked with and that we benefit from support. One of the things that was pointed out to me was I need validation. So I might hear from the Supporting Ahead programme, for example, oh, give this a try, give that a try. But it's when I hear it from someone else, so perhaps on the PROMAS course, they say, oh, why don't you check out the Sensory Trust? You like being outdoors, you like nature. So I heard it twice. There's me thinking, right, get on and do it. And that has helped immensely. And just to reiterate what they said on the video, it's about being with people that get it. That is so important. It's familiar faces, it's having safe places, and for us it's being outdoors, being with nature and being creative. So what's really special about PROMAS is they do get to know you. They ask one or two questions because it is just getting through that, yeah, I'm fine stage, because I can say I'm fine, but there are things going on underneath. And they're honest, and I look upon them as being a little bit of a critical friend. And it ties in so much with what we heard right at the beginning, searching out, finding something, getting hope, being truthful. It's not all plain sailing, and that helps you to have that meaning, I think. And that's me. I'm going to hand over. Thank you.
And this is Sue, who also did our course.
Thank you. This takes me back to school assembly and reading the lesson, and I wasn't very good at it then. But anyway, bear with me. My name is Susan Duke. My husband Chris was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2022, just as we were retiring. Me having worked in an administrative role in NHS GP practices for some 46 years, and Chris, who had worked as a gardener at a country estate for 40 years. The diagnosis was, needless to say, devastating, and the next couple of years were really tough. We initially went down the clinical trials route with Recognition Health in Plymouth. Screenings were undertaken with the conclusion that Chris was not suitable for the trials they were doing. A referral followed by his GP to the NHS team. In the subsequent 2 years, we had 2 visits and a couple of telephone calls from the community specialist nurse, who was covering 2 large practices due to staff shortages. In truth, it felt like we had dropped off the edge of a cliff. The PROMAS course we initially attended in November 2024 was as a result of being contacted by the social prescriber from my husband's GP practice. This was such a benefit to both of us, and we went on subsequently to do a 2-day course with PROMAS earlier this year. What this did was look at coping with the diagnosis from a carer's perspective. I realised my inertia following the diagnosis was in fact a grief reaction for the man I married who was disappearing before my very eyes. It gave me greater understanding of the world from Chris's altered perspective and helped me to be more compassionate. For the first time, I was able to actually discuss Chris's diagnosis with family and friends openly without crying. I recognised the need to look after myself as well as being my husband's carer, the importance of emotional support along with the practical assistance and suggestions that were covered by the course have undoubtedly helped me and given me greater insight going forward. I can only thank Bernie and Jenny for their help and to the social prescriber for making me aware of PROMAS, which has been so very helpful to us both. Thank you.
What we're going to do, because of time, because I
We've gone
can't
over.
take Kate looking at me like that
No,
anymore.
we're getting looks down here. We're going to have to move on.
The last slide. So, think about the exercise you did with the cards. What can you do to be more carer aware? So it's looking at things like helping carers retain their own personal identity and really listening and asking probing questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.